1. Okay. Three, two, one. Okay. Okay. Three, two, one. Okay.
Hello everybody. Before we get started, as always, I want to give a shout out to the lovely music we've been listening to during pre-stream here. This is Dreamer by Declan DP. You can find their information in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Thank you to Declan and everybody like them who makes either free-to-use or low-cost assets for us streamers. We can have better streams. Thank you very much. Huzzah! It is I, Deuscain, your variety-type streamer for the night, and tonight we are returning to Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, Reforged. One of my favorite streamers' favorite games. And yeah, last time we got to Ireland and did the section in Ireland, including apparently the infamous goat puzzle, which I 100% looked up because I didn't feel like getting stuck there for another hour. It is not very intuitive. But aside from that, yeah, good game. I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is in your part of the world. I'm doing all right today. It's been a bit of a long day. It's been a bit of a long week. And I'm a bit tired, if I'm being honest. That has been me perpetually for a while now. And yeah. I'm glad the week is over. But so got some good gaming going on tonight. Also got a collab tomorrow with the lovely Labris Amaryllis. I hope I spelled that right. I did not spell that right. But Labs and I will be playing some Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. I feel like I typed the same thing. I did type the same thing. Oh no. It's 2 L's. It's 2 L's. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I have played this game once before, a long time ago. I think Labs has not played it at all. They've already set their thing up for tomorrow. Nice. So yeah, it's gonna be, I believe, Labs' first time, my first time in a while. And it should be a good time for anybody who wants a game that is going to be, for me, a wake-up game, and going to be for Labs, who works more of like a night shift kind of life. That's going to be her game to play before going to bed, so going to be fun and interesting. But yeah, should be a good time for any who are interested. So it is going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, though. 10 a.m. EDT. Pretty sure it's still EDT. When does daylight savings time change, actually? November 3rd. Alright, that's not too bad. So yeah, got another month of daylight savings time, and then I can start calling it EST again, which is a funny thing. Growing up, I always called it EST, and then as I started like doing streaming stuff, that's when I realized that it's actually not EST year long, it's EDT most of the time. Because it's the standard time is on daylight savings time, so they call it EDT. But they used to be EST until they introduced daylight savings time, and then we went off time zone compared to every other country in that time zone that does not observe daylight savings time, which I think is mostly in the Caribbean and South America. I think those are the places. Actually, there's probably some places in Canada. I don't know if Canada observes it. They might. But stands to reason there's probably some countries that don't. So, and the fun thing is that there were some countries that changed their daylight savings time dates on wildly different times and wildly different schedules. I did hear a thing a couple years ago, I think, where people were talking about permanently keeping. Well, they were talking about getting. The way they described it was getting rid of daylight savings time, and instead, what they were doing was just basically toggling on daylight savings time at one point and then never turning it off. So all of us would be perpetually wrong about EDT versus EST, basically forever. Like we would just not ever be right. Which to me is slightly amusing because it's people trying to say like, I think we should get rid of daylight savings time. What's your plan to do it? Well, we're gonna do this. That is not getting rid of it. That is keeping it forever. You are wrong and silly, and I laugh at thee. But got some good eating the past few days. I decided to reward myself with lunch delivery on, I think it was last night and lunch today. What did I get last night? Oh, last night I got a burger from a place that I order from sometimes. Got like a nice gourmet burger ordered with their fries, and they're like, would you like a little extra basket of fries? Yes. Okay, would you like us to give you an extra scoop of fries? Yes. Act like I asked for 3 servings of fries, please. And I got plenty of good old steak fries from that place. It was glorious. So a nice burger with like a slice of pineapple in it. Oh, some good shit. Some good shit. But then today I had to go in the office for a little while, and I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm like, no, I don't really have anything at home that's prepared for food. You know, why don't I just order delivery? So I ordered hot French dip roast beef sandwich, served au jus, which basically means like they give you a little cup of broth you dip the sandwich in, and it's like super savory and tasty. Also like moistens up the bread, so it kind of just like falls apart. And then I got a cup of chili and a slice of butter pecan cheesecake because it's Friday and we're celebrating. But that was hours ago, as was my last dose of coffee, so we are tapping out a little bit. I'm curious about one thing. So I got this. That is not what I wanted to click on. No. Bad game. Okay, so it didn't do that. Yeah, last week's Bloomtown had an error. Oh, not had an error, but I basically got a copyright claim against it on Twitch, so that part of the audio got muted. So I was checking this week's from Wednesday, wondering if the same thing had happened. But turns out no. Which, speaking of which, I'm going to need to queue up some videos soon, because I am behind on that again. I had enough to make it through this week. I think this might have been the last week. Maybe I've got stuff ready for next week. I might be checking that right now. We'll see. Yes. I've got everything scheduled out for next week. Yeah, next week's all completely done, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, next week's 100% done, and the week after that I need to make shorts for. But besides that, I'm caught up. Except I'm making the stuff, which I'm very behind on. I think I've got, what am I still back on the content creation end? I'm back on Fury, which is a while back. the first playthrough of Fury, which is a game I kind of would like to get back to eventually, but I feel like by the time I get to it, I'm gonna be like so rusty on it. It's gonna be just, I might as well just start again. Fury is one of those games where after a while you're not up to snuff anymore, and you gotta start again. I had been playing a little bit of Monster Hunter in my off time, when I get some breaks and some time to breathe. But it's funny, I keep seeing Monster Hunter show up on stream, and like people are playing more of it. Everybody's playing World, and I'm over here like fighting Rise, and I'm like, yeah. I wish I was playing World too. But it also has been a good experience, because Rise does have like all of those Silkbind moves. Those are a nice like anime moment of reacting to a problem, and it's so good. It's so good. But where am I at? I know I just killed Malzeno, and I think I'm getting close to the final boss. I might have, I think I got one more round of quests to do before the Lunagron fight at the end of the game, and then right after that I think is the final boss. So I might be able to finish that this weekend. We'll say, as much as I was liking the Charge Blade early game, boy, I'm hating it late game. It's great if I had a group who could like keep something in roughly the right place, but pulling aggro myself, God, I hate that weapon, because it's so easy to whiff. It's so easy to whiff and do 0 damage. and I'm so hyper focused on just maximizing the damage with super amped elemental discharge. It'd be nice to actually get some skill items that help me out with that, like making sure it stays charged longer and stuff like that. So right now I think I've got like a hodgepodge mix of a bunch of things. I actually had like the craziest run against Basil guys earlier this week. Let me pull up this image. I sent it to my friend because I'd like to taunt him, because I remember he was like farming for parts ages ago, trying to get stuff. And what all did I get? So I think I got a mantle from just like a drop on the ground, and the image I sent him had 4 gems and another mantle. Do I have this? You know what? I'm gonna copy this and drop it in the Discord. Let's see here. There we go. Which, speaking of which, if you aren't aware, I do have a Discord. Got that listed there. Still growing it, but still kind of small, cozy, casual. I mostly put a lot of memes in there these days. Also my schedule. I'm also syncing up my YouTube uploads, so it's a good one-stop shop hub for all things related to Deuscain. Also, if you want to know what any of my other commands are, I have a nice commands thing that I entered in a while back. Has all the things you can do, all the various stuffs. So, yeah. So you can see it all there. But yeah, it's about what my week's been about. It's Wednesday. Though Wednesday we did have a good time on Bloomtown. We finished the first major boss, started the second area. I definitely need to do some prep work and grinding, because I was just powering through the first area and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling my lack of gear. I'm feeling the weakness of my weapons. This is not good. This is an uphill struggle. So, but I am making some progress, and I'm also getting some nice new abilities that like I didn't have access to before. So, I'm really excited for what opens up. But I think that's about it. Like last night was just kind of a crash and burn night. I just rested. Wednesday was streaming, and both days I worked. So I did talk to work about taking my last job called a personal day, what my current job calls a wellness day, and it's essentially like you could just take them whenever. So I might log in Monday morning and be like, fuck it, I'm not working today, wellness day, and then just work on videos all day. I'm pretty sure it's allowed. But yeah. But I think that's about it. So let's get the game booted up, and then we should be good to go. Let's switch it. Come on. Come on now. Come on. I know you have the game in the listing. Why does it not see Broken Sword's audio? Oh god, what the fuck? There it is. There's a weird listing for it on mine. But it's at least showing up. So we're gonna jump back in. Yeah. Okay, so last thing we did, we went to Ireland. We solved a mystery and got a gem, and also met Khan slash Thomas Morlin. And he ran a man over with a car, and we're just like, nah, it's fine. We'll be okay. I'm sure he's not going to ever show up and, like, fuck up our day. I'm almost certain he will. So we got the airport, the museum. I can't go back to the shop anymore. I can't go back to the hotel. I don't care, really. I'm actually curious if there's anything going on here. Oh, hey, where'd this guy go?
There was nothing inside. It was a tent. It was a battered metal. The toolbox didn't. It was a huge.
Where'd this guy go? Because he was, like, living his best life there for a minute. And he's, like, nowhere to be seen. Do a quick looky around. Down in the sewers we go. It doesn't seem to be anything new here. Alright, I'll just show myself out. Unless I need to talk to this guy for some reason. A little strange. That guy was doing so well. He was so happy. Is he at the police station? No. By the way, what's in my bag? Hey cop, want to see my plaster that looks like cocaine? Almost certainly not. Alright, so I got the museum. Oh, hello, friend. Wait. Before I do that.
It was a thin-faced, pallid guy with a questionable taste in outlandish clothes. My mother used to dress like that.
Let's chat with him.
I beg your pardon. Are you André Lobineau?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No. I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
What do you think is tissue?
What does this tissue mean to you?
Nothing.
With his clown nose.
Take a look at this nose, Lobineau.
It really doesn't interest me, Georgie.
Georgie, oh.
What do you make of this tool?
Interesting. Where did you get it?
From a dig in Paris.
Vraiment? I didn't realize there were any excavations in progress in the city.
But this guy, you ever
Does
see
the
him?
guy in this photograph look familiar to you?
No,
Shake my
I'd
hand,
like to
Lobineau.
shake you by the hand, Andre.
not now, Georgie.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Alamut is the name of the place where the Hashashin were based.
Where is it?
Somewhere in what used to be called Persia. I'm not too hot on modern geography, I'm afraid. The most recent map I have shows America as an English colony.
That's a bit out of date.
What do you make of this ID card?
Nothing.
How about plaster
Do
Paris?
you recognize this white powder, Andre?
No.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn! That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived.
Huh. Tell me about Pegram.
Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
The second week of July?
Maybe. Yes, it was, just before Bastille Day.
So Pegram was in Paris at the same time as the other victims.
Pardon? Victims of what?
Nothing. Just thinking aloud.
Interesting.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
Okay. But it's gem.
What do you make of this?
It's the biggest gemstone I've ever seen. Where did you get it?
From Professor Pegram's messenger boy.
Did Pegram find this on his dig?
Yeah, the site where this was found was a Templar castle. Do you think it could be part of the Templar treasure?
No, I shouldn't think so. You're not one of those crazies who think the Templars still exist, are you?
Of course not.
Well, I try to keep an open mind on the matter.
Alright.
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much, only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Tell me about the Templar.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez. How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters.
Was it temple?
The king of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Yeah. You ain't wrong.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status. like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
Alright.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah, not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman. Maybe it was my imagination, but I noticed a predatory look in his eye. Suddenly, this friendly historian had turned into the big bad wolf.
Oh, is that so?
This friend who has the...
Oui,
She lives at 361.
I'll drop by.
Wait.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I was supposed to call her first, but I didn't. Shit. Well, she's going to be a little upset. Justifiably so.
Hey, Nico.
Oh, hi. I didn't expect you back so soon.
Have you found out any more about the Knights Templar?
Yes,
I
dish.
have. The guy responsible for their downfall was Philippe IV, the King of France, otherwise known as Philippe le Bel. Well, he is known to history as Philippe the Fair, but I doubt if the Templars called him that. I'm sure Andre will tell you all about him.
Let's take another look at the manuscript. That's the gem that Pegram... That's the tripe... I'll see you again soon.
Okay.
So I didn't get a chance to tell her about the guy coming over. Alright, what do you got to say, flower vendor?
Oh, hi.
Hello, my handsome friend.
Have you seen anyone out here? What?
Yes, I have. He kept his face hidden, but I saw
How was he dressed?
a long brown raincoat with a hat.
Or like Humphrey Bogart?
Yes. Besides, this guy... You never saw Bogart clench...
See you later.
That's right, monsieur. You will.
I sure will. We'll go talk to Nico, because somebody's watching.
Hey, Nico.
Oh, hi. I didn't expect you back so soon.
And I can't tell her about the guy.
I'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Oh, I couldn't go. I can go to Montfaucon.
I once read a list of low-stress jobs. It didn't include police work. Obviously, this guy hadn't read the same list. A typically Parisian sidewalk cafe. Last time I visited one of those, it blew up.
I was
decided
thinking the
was happy
same,
enough
George.
right where I was. Excuse me, officer.
And how may I help you?
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the so-so Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
And he don't care. You seen this guy around?
Have you seen this man before?
No. Who is it?
I believe him to be an international assassin.
Oh,
Is that all you can say? Oh.
I did wonder if I should say that I believed you to be an international paranoiac, but it didn't seem polite.
Hey, you want to shake my hand?
Would you like to shake? I stopped myself barely in time. Electrocuting a cop would not have been smart. They'd rebuild the Bastille just so they could throw me in and throw away the key. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
I can't even go into the cafe. Oh, manhole cover. We still got our tool.
Fixed to the wall was a sign in 3 languages. In French, English, and German, it read, "In 1312, Pope Clement V dissolved the knightly order of the Templars and excommunicated its members on charges of heresy. In the following 2 years, many of the knights were hanged on this site. Their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was burnt at the stake on an island in the Seine." An ornate fountain stood in one corner of the square. I'd have to come by here in the summer to see it working. There was no water to frolic about in, and the leaf mold that was collecting there just wasn't the same somehow.
Hey, you. What do you think you are doing? Leave that comer alone. Now.
Fine.
Sorry, no harm intended.
You stay away from that.
I'll have to get rid of that guy.
An architectural echo of the gallows that once used to stand here.
All right.
A row of old pews, beautifully carved and glowing with polish. I thought of all the people who must have sat here over the decades. All those Parisian derrieres, firm buttocks of the young ladies,
George.
the flabby flesh of the old men.
George.
That wasn't a pleasing image, so I went back to the young ladies.
George.
Whoa! I didn't have time to sit. knight's tomb, his effigy in marble lying in perpetual state. Waiting in prayer for the judgment day.
Nothing else here. Got a statue. Oh, there's a lot inside here.
A statue of a knight holding a staff and a scroll. The statue had any secrets. It was concealing them pretty well. A stone knight lay at the end of a row of 4. I wondered if this guy had died. Carrying all that armor around must have been... I was surprised Philip le Bel had left this place. Just think. Biblical references in... I guess. I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout.
Okay. The scroll, which I can apparently interact with.
Per disciplinum meum lux videbis. A bit of a stained glass window. Wow! Hoping for a big insight while squinting through a hunk of statuary had been pretty optimistic, I guess. Per discipline. A bit of a stained glass window. Wow!
Snakes, an arm. So it's this guy.
Hoping for a big insight. Had a huge stain. I didn't recognize.
I don't think I ever looked at the staff.
Well, I could have just taken the end off the staff, but I wanted to be sure what I'd be getting out of vandalizing a church, other than deported. On the end of the staff was some kind of disc with a cross on it. Around the base of the disc was a hairline crack.
That's interesting. No. Fine, game. You have your fun. Yeah, I don't see anything else to do here in Montpellier. I'm gonna tap the hint. Oh, the inspector. Let's leave and go back to the inspector.
Excuse me, what do you want now? heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic in the Avenue des Hérissons.
Okay.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur. It's Stobart, monsieur. He insists on talking to you again.
Thank you, Moo. What now, monsieur?
Ah, questions. Yes.
Do you know a pair of thugs
I have known those two since they graduated from special school. Flap is a nasty piece of work. Where did you hear of?
I met them out front of the... Have you heard of
Molly Pigram, the second son of Lord Barclay Pigram?
I don't know. I only read about him in a magazine.
So much for the efficacy of rehabilitation. What has he done this time?
He made an important archaeological find in Ireland. Do you know Pegram well?
I have connections with the family, but I wouldn't say I knew him at all.
Is his name really Molly?
Of course not. That was the nickname he was given at school. All his friends and acquaintances know him as Molly.
Interesting.
What do you make of this white powder, Rosso?
It is plaster.
Say, you're good. What do you make of this, Inspector?
Astounding. Where did you come by a stone like that?
I was given it by a man in a bar in Ireland. Do you recognize the gem?
It is unfamiliar to me. If such a jewel had been stolen, I would know it for sure.
Have you heard of the knight?
Les Templiers. Their fame is widespread throughout France. We haven't forgotten them, unlike the rest of Europe.
It was the King of France who persecuted them, though.
Indeed.
That shook his cool. Underneath his cultured facade, the man was real twitchy. You're obviously a great admirer of the Knights Templar.
They were men of great honor, monsieur. The flower of chivalry.
Not everyone would share your views, Inspector.
Not everyone shares my passion for Bartok.
But if the Templars were as honorable as...
That's enough. I do not wish to hear your uninformed opinions, Stobart.
I mean, that shut us down pretty fast.
Why do you get so wound up about the... They've been dead for centuries. I shouldn't have pushed my luck. Whatever. I saw the...
The Templars were the first true internationalists. 800 years on, and still the world is fragmented by nationalistic flag-waving fools. You will excuse me.
Oh, darn it. I had another question.
Excuse me.
What do you want now?
Is Rosso...
Yes,
Yes, I do.
one moment.
Okay, come back out, buddy.
It's Stobart, monsieur. He insists on talking to you again.
Thank you, Moo. What now, monsieur?
I can't ask about the Templars.
Ever heard of a guy called Marquet? Jacques Marquet?
Marquet. I know the name well. He has a record for suspected blackmail, kidnapping, arson, and art theft.
No
Okay.
wonder, huh? How come he's on the loose?
His bravado is matched only by the courtroom skills of his attorney.
Okay.
So long, Inspector.
Hmm.
It's George. I've tracked down that guy Marquet.
That's great news.
Yeah, if I get to see him, I'll let you know.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we're trying to talk to Marquet now.
The old building managed to retain some of its original grandeur, but the modern additions look like a baseball cap on a statue of a medieval saint. There was no sign of the crew of the...
Yeah, sure, I'll dig around in an ambulance.
I felt a little guilty as I tried the door. I gripped the handle with it. The door. The young man's face was full of eagerness and enthusiasm. I figured he was fresh from college. The woman managed to look overworked and hassled, though she didn't appear to be doing anything. Hi, my name's George Stobart.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
Call me George if you like.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's my name.
My name's Benoit, but everyone calls me Bunny.
Bunny.
That's right. I used to have this cute habit when I was a kid.
Keep it to yourself, Benoit.
You need to sip with
What
this
does
tissue.
tissue mean to you?
Is that a nasal discharge, sir?
No, it's grease paint.
See this
Do
guy
you
around?
recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. I've never seen him before.
Do you know anything about a patient named Marquet?
No, sir, I don't know much about any of the patients.
I've never met a doctor who admits that he's only human.
I'm only a trainee, sir. I'm sure I'll get the hang of things.
Ah, so you're useless to me at the moment.
Right.
Excuse me.
Oh.
Yes, sir?
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plans. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
The audio here is real different.
Have you seen this man here at the clinic?
No, sir. And I never forget a face.
Okay. Seen this clown?
Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the Bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Okay.
Has Marquet
You're
had
fun.
a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not.
A thin guy who looked...
sounds as they escape.
Little Marquet.
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm his, long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yes.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age. After a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I guess not. So, do I get to see
That attitude will get... My instructions were quite clear. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance...
Is this plastic?
I'm allergic to plaster.
This is gem. You're
What
allergic
does
to
this
gems
gem
too?
suggest to you?
I advise you not to... The hospital insurance wouldn't cover it if it was stolen.
Look at this ID pad.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Oh.
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh dear. He's on Ward J2. That's... Nurse Grendel's ward.
Nurse Grendel?
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock, alarm falls. 6:10, bowel movement, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
Okay.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
Oh, you mean she's been here...
No, I mean there's not a man in this clinic who hasn't sprawled out on her.
I was beginning to get the picture.
Alright, looks like ads are about to start any sec, so I'm going to tap the button and switch over. Okay, let's jump back in. So let's find out more about this nurse that everybody seems to like so much.
How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
All right.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
The guy seemed to be practicing his air of authority. Hi, my name's George Stovard.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment...
Does this white...
No, sir. I do not...
Do you recognize...
No, sir.
What do you make of this
Intéressant. I thought I knew the ins and outs of the human body. If I were you, and...
May I have the honor of shaking you by the hand?
You may not. I don't encourage physical contact between my staff.
Well, you're a charming fellow.
Thanks for your help.
So it's down the left hallway, 2 rights, then 2 lefts.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridor. It was an industrial polishing machine with an... He looked blissfully happy. Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said. Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle.
He's
with
not
little tunes.
French.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
It's a deal.
Seen this guy around?
Do you reckon...
Who is it?
That's what I'm asking.
How should I know? You haven't...
Take a look at the...
Yeah.
Now,
No.
have you seen...
No, sir. I have... What's that, Mr. Shiny? You take good care of... With a friend like him.
It must be a great...
He is.
Do you know where I...
No. I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
Would
Mr. Shiny,
be
huh?
a polishing machine by any chance?
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine. I've had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
We're gonna break this thing, aren't we?
Do you know a nurse called Grendel?
Sure I do.
Is she on duty today?
Yeah. End of the corridor, ward J2.
How come you got...
I asked you not to... He's got a name.
It's just that...
You think it's odd, don't you?
No,
I don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind my back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull through.
His weekly what?
Shot with this metal mop-foot is probably a fine and noble thing.
It is? Say, it's not every day I meet someone as crazy as me.
See you later.
Yeah, take care now.
I guess the water cooled. Maybe the face of the unaccountably happy domestic had made me... I mean, I knew it was only my imagination. There was no way I could improve on the sculpture with the janitor watching me.
Improve on the sculpture? What are you
It was
doing?
a life-sized mark. The sculptor had tried to give him a look of paternal... In my mind, he looked just plain... The connector in the socket supplied electricity to the polishing machine.
Let's go down this hallway. I don't think it's right. A few minutes later. Wrong hallway.
Oui, monsieur.
Is this Ward J2?
It is, but you're not supposed to be here. We have strict rules about visiting hours.
Can't you make an exception? I've come all the way from California.
You must speak to the doctor.
I can't wait that long. What if he snuffs it?
You can't talk like that here. This is a hospital. You will have to leave.
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do.
I'll bet he lightens the...
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
Oh.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
You can tell me how my brother is, can't you?
Of course, monsieur. What is his name?
Jacques Marquet.
Let me see. He's satisfactory.
I was told he was dying.
Well, he is, but the doctor described his condition as satisfactory.
Wait,
That's
what?
quite an improvement on yesterday.
What was his condition yesterday?
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Do you know Merlin of Gruber Electronics?
No, I don't.
Do you recognize...
No,
Shake my hand.
Would you like to shake hands with me?
well,
No, it's okay. Forget it. I didn't really want to use it on her anyway.
Grease pant?
Do you recognize this tissue?
no, I don't. It looks like a chronic health risk to me.
Well, I've been carrying it around for days and I'm okay. My pocket's getting a little soggy.
George.
Does this mean anything to you?
The Club Alamut? I've never heard of it.
Does this gem mean anything to you?
It's beautiful, but I've never seen it before.
Is
Plaster?
this plaster any use to you?
No, it isn't.
Clown nose?
Do you recognize this red nose?
Oh dear. I don't think he'll...
Who?
Monsieur Boissy.
Does this tool...
I don't recognize it.
Thank you, nurse.
You may come back at visiting time.
Thanks.
The second Tuesday of each month.
Second Tuesday of each month. Good lord.
As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed, spluttered, and died.
Spluttered, you say?
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
You just gonna stand there and watch him, George?
There was no way I could... I wasn't in the mood.
Okay. What if you were more than just a visitor? Am I coming in as a doctor or something?
The door didn't have a sign?
Hey now,
How come?
I'm responsible for the contents of that cupboard.
Alright, time to unplug his thing and go in the cupboard.
As I tugged the plug out...
No.
No, George, no, go in the cupboard. Come on, George.
Doctor. Hello.
Oh, hi. No whistling, right?
Right. What's the problem?
She's uptight and twisted on account of a broken heart.
Oh, that's too bad.
That also. By the way, sir, I wouldn't stand too close. If he has an emission, it'll take the shine clean off your shoes. Say, nice sneakers.
Thanks.
Who broke her heart?
His heart.
Yeah.
Was it you?
Dish the tea.
No. Talk to a woman, I wouldn't know where to start. My analyst says,
Some analyst?
not me, it's a comfort to have it made official.
You shouldn't take any notice.
Yeah,
See you later.
yeah, take care now.
Good afternoon, doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J2?
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection, doctor.
Thank you, nurse. Well, who's first?
Monsieur Croquet in bed 2.
What's his problem?
He's been complaining of loss of consciousness. You'll need this, doctor.
Okay.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks. Hi, I'm Dr. Stobart.
Hello, doctor.
The nurse told me you keep losing consciousness.
That's right. I've had the problem as long as I can remember. It's a real out-of-body experience. Like death, but not so conclusive.
I see. How long does it last?
Just a fraction of a second, and then I recover.
I might not have been a doctor, but I was formulating a diagnosis all the same. This guy was nuts. I know exactly what you mean. It's known in the medical field as...
Blinking George.
Blinking.
Is it serious?
Of course it isn't serious. It's perfectly natural.
But just think, 2 seconds every minute. Why, that's almost half an hour every day. 2 weeks out of every year spent in total darkness.
I don't have time to listen to this baloney. Which bed is Marquet in?
He's round the corner.
What's the matter with him?
I don't know, but the men who brought him in were wearing masks and rubber gloves. Hey, you're a doc.
We doctors don't know.
Then how come?
Has Marquet had any visitors?
Nah, not. You feel like the rest of the world is a...
Well, you know how it is.
Thanks for those comfort.
Do you know what this piece of equipment is called?
No, I don't.
I thought about giving him an electric shock. but I just couldn't do that to a sick guy.
Hey, about this
Have
grease
you
paint.
any idea what this is?
Please.
Hmm.
Do you recognize
Nah, Doc.
a cold blood?
One of your
No.
I've never seen it.
Well, goodbye.
Thanks, Doc.
Hello again. Do you know what this piece of equipment is?
No, I
The guy was sick. His face was the same shade of... I wondered whether I ought to call the nurse. Maybe check him out for breathing. It was a device used for measuring people's blood pressure. Hello again. Do you know what this...
no.
According to the chart, the graph showed a steady decline in his pulse rate. It kind of shook me to see this guy's life.
Why can't I use this on the guy?
Hello again. Do you know what this piece of...
No.
The name on the chart was Boissy. The poor guy's temperature had been up and down like a white knuckle ride. No wonder he looked so sick. Now, I was no doctor, but this guy looked dead to me. The name on the chart was Sopmarsh. His temperature was normal, with little... The guy was sick. I wondered whether... Now, I was no... This guy didn't look sick to me. He didn't have spots or stitches. Hello?
Check
Anybody
on
home?
everybody.
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobart, and I'm here to...
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you...
Are you sure?
You better believe it. What can you tell me?
He's the man. That room was mine before I was tossed out like a...
Interesting.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor. What's... But I've been here.
What's your impression of Nurse Grendel?
She's a very efficient young woman.
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
The woman in reception
Sir.
described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true. She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
I'm going to take your blood.
Why?
I'm a doctor. I'm going to...
Why?
I'm a doctor. Do you know what this...
It looks like...
How did you know that?
I'm a plasterer.
Does this...
No? Is this some...
If it was... Have you heard of a...
No?
Have you ever heard of the...
I'm not... A game of whist and a glass of ginger wine is about my limit.
I thought about... But I... Do you rec...
No?
A cold...
Really? Of course, Mr. Soames hasn't... And he doesn't come. His hairs are not great. Otherwise...
Remark... Have you any...
No, Doctor.
Do you recognize...
Doesn't that belong...
No.
He's a clown. You wouldn't think so to look at him now, would you?
Do you know what?
I'd rather... Ignorance is...
See you later.
Okay, why can I not use the tool on people?
Doctor,
What is it?
you haven't taken...
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Of course I am.
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later.
All right. Swear to God, I'm the guy in the middle.
Oh, Doctor.
What now?
You didn't...
Okay, let's try again.
You don't have the fa...
I'll come back when you've recovered.
Okay.
It was a device. Hello again. Do you know what this piece of equipment is called?
No,
So I can't leave until I take his blood pressure, but I don't know how to use it.
Oui, monsieur?
What is this device?
It's for taking the...
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Fine, I'm going to leave. So someone needs to teach me how to take blood pressure.
The young man's... Hey, Benoit.
There's no need to shout. What do you want?
Explain this to me.
What do you know about...
It's a device from...
Do you know the nurse on...
No, I can't wait to get my... I was talking about treating myself. I didn't mean I'd get my hands dirty with...
See you later.
Right.
All right.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
I'd like to return this device.
Not to me, you don't. I don't touch medical equipment.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right, doctor, how do I use this?
Excuse me, sir.
You must be... well, stop wonder... Bernie, come here. This is Benoit, my nephew. Can I trust you to look after him?
Do your own babysitting, Gramps. Who do you think you are, anyhow?
The head of the
I
hospital.
am Felix Hagenmeyer.
And may I say what an honor it is to meet you in person, sir. You are on my medical wall of fame. Right up there with Pasteur and Leary. I look on it as a privilege, no, an honor, to look after your nephew, sir.
He is fresh out of medical school. It will open his eyes to see a real doctor on the job.
I'll bet.
Show him around. Let him see some real suffering.
Okay.
Look what Nurse Grendel gave me.
Ah, yes, very good. It reassures the public to see the medical...
So long, Hagen.
Come along, buddy.
Could you take a look at the client in bed number 3? His name is Eric Sopmarsh.
What's his problem?
He's delirious. He just now came out of theater. He's recovering from major surgery.
I'll have him up and about before you can say, Lazarus, get out of your bed and walk.
Okay.
Hi, it's me again. I'm going to take your blood pressure. Why? I'm a doctor. It's my job. I'm going to take... Why? I'm a doctor. It's my job. See you later. Hi. I'm going to... Why? I'm a doctor. See you later.
Okay, that didn't work.
Hey, Benoit.
Have Benoit do it.
There's no need to shout. What do you want?
Here, take this pressure gauge.
Thank you, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, keep it safe until I think of something. Hey, Benoit.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready with that
Primed and ready. What do you...
Use it on Eric Sopmarsh.
Okay.
Hey, Benoit.
Let's go over and talk to him. Jesus.
Yes, sir.
Do you still have that gauge?
Ah, yes.
Use it on Rene Croquet.
Okay.
Hi. See you later. Hey, Benoit.
Yes, sir.
Do you still have that?
Ah, yes.
Use it on...
Okay.
Oh, I get it now. So he goes and blocks the guy's vision and I can walk past.
He sat like a statue of a sack of potatoes. I'm Dr. Stobart.
Bonjour, doctor.
Have you heard of a...
He's in quarantine, doc.
Marquet is just...
I wouldn't go in. He has anthrax.
Okay, anthrax makes sense to isolate him.
On the ward?
Yeah, I have.
A gorilla and a weasel?
No, this was a tatty old bear.
How was the bear acting suspiciously?
Well, he was wearing a homburg.
Is that against the law?
No, but it's pretty weird for a bear.
Don't you think it's possible that the bear was a man in disguise?
Well, obviously, I'm not completely stupid. But who would go to the bother of disguising himself as a bear? It's not as if he'd blend in with the surroundings. I checked with base to see if any bears had been reported missing from the zoo or a traveling circus. They told me to sit tight until reinforcements arrive. I guess they're right. I'd be stupid to tackle a bear single-handed.
And he's not wrong.
I have to visit my patient.
What for?
Routine.
What if he's not?
I'll sign the certificate and register his bed as vacant.
That's cold and...
Well, I've been institutionalized to the point of godlike aloofness.
The white coat suits you.
Thanks. Catch you later, officer.
Au revoir, Doc. If you see that bear, rather you than me,
Another graph, another... On the top of the chart was his name, Jacques Marquet. I didn't need to be a doctor to read the graphs. Marquet was dying. Marquet's slim hold on life was being measured. The bottles were full of liquid, with a little trail of bubbles. Marquet was either peacefully sleeping or placidly dead. Rousing him in the latter case would take a miracle. The machine was far too I figured Marquet's life depended.
Medical attention, enjoy private healthcare experience.
Marquet?
Yes, I am Marquet. I've been expecting you.
You have?
Well, what are you waiting for? Get it over with.
I just want to know what I should do with the gem.
The Lamar gem.
Yeah, right here in my pocket.
I thought you were one of the assassins.
Not me. I never inhaled.
So, you were sent in my place?
Yeah. You could hardly make the trip to Ireland in your condition. What should I do with the gem?
Deliver it to the Grandmaster quickly. Tell him that I have found the tripod right here in Paris.
You have it?
Not yet, but it's being taken care of. I hired a couple of stooges with a flair for petty crime.
Would that be Flap and Guido by any chance?
You know them?
We've met. What about the Hashashin?
He's more likely to have followed Klausner.
Kloschner.
Stop at nothing to prevent the reforging of the sword.
And that's bad, is
The
it?
broken sword.
For Klausner, he is gone off to Syria on a wild goose chase.
They have geese in Syria?
He has a theory about the location of the...
That's enough excitement for one day, Monsieur Marquet. What are you doing here?
Talking to this patient, of course.
Monsieur Marquet is my patient. Herr Hagenmeyer was to hear that.
Okay, I'm going. I'd learned all I could from Marquet anyhow.
Ah, there you are, sir. I was just coming to look for you. I finished with your pressure gauge.
Thanks, Bunny.
What's that noise? It sounds as if someone's having a cardiac arrest.
It's all right. The doctor's in there with him.
Are you sure he was a doctor?
Oui, monsieur. He showed me his ID. It was Dr. Braille.
There's no Dr. Braille working here?
He's an imposter! The door's locked. Help me, officer.
Oh, snap.
Stand back, monsieur.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, back in Nico's apartment. This is
I
bad.
found Jacques Marquet.
Did he talk?
Yeah, he talked. For the very last time.
He's dead.
Yeah. Killed in cold blood by a bogus doctor.
That's despicable. What kind of guy would pass himself off as a doctor and take advantage of a dying man? Was it Khan?
No, I don't know who he was, but it certainly wasn't Khan. He got away, out the window. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time. Besides, Marquet would have recognized.
He was pumped to the gills with sedative. He wouldn't have recognized the four horsemen of the... Have you ever heard of the Hashi-Ashin?
No.
Marquet said that they were his biggest enemy.
His biggest enemy was the bogus doctor.
Don't remind me. That guy was evil. He had wild, staring eyes like a dead fish. I'll never trust a doctor again. Can you think of any use for this?
That's a thing for me. What are you doing?
I picked it up in the hot...
You ought to take it back.
I guess I'd better go back.
Which one? Rosso or Sergeant Mou? Oh, but you're referring to Andre.
I'll let you work it out.
Russell, Moo, or Andre?
Oh, hi.
Hello, my handsome friend.
What does this app...
The last time I saw one of the doctor told me I laugh.
How come?
I can see.
See you later.
That's right.
I'm done with the hospital. Can I go anywhere in the airport? Nope, still just Paris.
You have left it very late, monsieur.
Late? For what?
Anything? I am closing the museum soon. You wouldn't like to get locked in.
Why not?
It is haunted, monsieur.
You don't believe in...
Oh, yes, I do. 7, it made a bet with his friends. When I found him in the...
Well, what was the cause?
They said it, but on his face was a look of shock.
Scary. What can you tell me about...
Those are remains of the Paris pot.
When did they move?
15,000 years ago, monsieur. Vanished in the mists of time. Didn't even have time to...
I thought the original inhabitants of Paris were a tribe known as the Parisi.
That is right, monsieur. You see, in those days, people didn't have much in the way of possessions. A few flints, some animal skins, maybe the odd bone or two. Naturally, when the Parisi came along with their pots, why, everybody wanted one.
I guess they must have caused a kind of consumer frenzy.
Yeah, oui, they connected the market, cleaned up.
You don't know the first thing about those...
No, monsieur.
He's fucking with us. I
What
love
can
it.
you tell me about the collection of coins?
A rare example of silver coinage that little old lay buried for centuries in a field. They're unique. Nothing like them has been found.
What can you tell me?
A rare example of that little... They're unique.
The
Interesting.
sign
It's
on
not
the
going away.
tripod says it was found at a Templar preceptory.
It does?
You don't know anything about the tripod, do you?
No, I don't. I never had much of a start in life, you see. I owe what little education I gained to my uncle. He was an optician, but he also doubled as the village school teacher. He taught me the alphabet. Well, 19 letters of it. The bottom row of the chart was too small even for him to read. So he left them out.
Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education?
You know, I never thought of that. Do you think, if I studied art...
At your age?
Oh, come on, George. Let him dream.
Can you give me any...
Certainly, monsieur. That tripod, that belonged to John D.
John D.
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
Dee was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century, the Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and hand...
Well, whatever he was, that is the trap.
What kind of experiment?
Oh, is it you?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology. Can I take a closer...
What? That tripod is protected.
How sophisticated?
A painfully loud alarm bell.
Tell me the alarm.
How is the alarm bell triggered?
By the slightest pressure on or movement of any part of the case wherein that tripod is situated.
It strikes me that to call your alarm system sophisticated is, well, stretching the truth a little.
It has never failed yet. The sophistication is in its simplicity.
Okay.
Thanks for your help. Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
Look at the
Have you ever
Hasashin.
heard the Hashashin?
Why, yes, it was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes, they gave a new word to our language, Assassini, the assassins.
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legend surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A young man who sought to join the sect was given hashish until he drifted into dreams. He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Oh.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
Okay.
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
What can you tell me about Philippe le Bel?
He was responsible for the extermination of the Knights Templar.
I know that, but why was Philip so hot to get rid of them?
Good
Mostly
question.
because he wanted to get his hands on their treasure. He had an enormous debt and a lifelong war with England to fund. The trouble was, the Templars were a highly respected holy order.
If the Templars were so powerful, how did this Philippe dude wipe them out?
By underhanded, dishonorable means, of course. The Pope was Clement V, a Frenchman.
French, huh? Handy for Philippe.
Fate had nothing to do with it. He was Philippe's puppet, planted to further his political ambitions. Philippe wanted the wealth of the Templars and used Clement to get it.
So what was Philippe's plan? What happened?
Sealed orders were sent out all over France, not to be opened until the appointed day. That day was Friday, July 13th. That's the origin of our superstition regarding that date. At
Interesting.
dawn, throughout the whole of France, the Templars were arrested. It was the biggest bust in the history of the world.
So you order 66 them.
What happened to the Templars after their arrest?
Philippe was out for blood, so he handed the Templars over to the Inquisition.
The Spanish
After
Inquisition
Friday,
in
they
France?
confessed to a sensational and sordid list of blasphemies.
Like what?
Oh, the sort of things you read about in the gutter press. Devil worship, lewd sexual practices, spitting on the Holy Cross, that kind of thing.
Well, that must have given their lawyers some headaches.
Whether or not the accusations were true, this was not good publicity. Most of the charges were probably cooked up, but so were the Templars, literally. Hundreds of them were found guilty of heresy and flame grilled at the stake. They died protesting their innocence.
Lovely.
But surely Philippe had no proof of his charges against the Templars.
A man will admit anything under torture. The Inquisition fabricated some nonsensical demon called Baphomet, and then suggested to the victims that this was what they worshipped.
But they didn't have to agree.
The records show a Templar coming to trial with both feet burnt off. Fragments of flesh and charred bone falling from the stumps. What would you not admit to stop such torment?
So there was no truth at all in the Baphomet accusations?
Not a shred. Almost every victim described the idol differently. No, Baphomet never existed outside the sick minds of the Inquisitors.
Interesting.
So Philippe stole the Templars' riches, huh?
Oh no, they weren't stupid. The king's troops marched first on the temple in Paris, then to the Templar home port at La Rochelle. There was no trace of the treasure, and the fleet of the Knights Templar had set sail.
What about this tripod?
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochman tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place?
I heard them planning the raid.
They're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Why don't you loan the tripod?
Because I'd never see it again.
Well, don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point.
Yeah, valid.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
So we still have Montfaucon. At the police station now, too.
Excuse me.
What do you want now?
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin, Sergeant?
What was that?
The cult of the assassins.
What are you trying to say, Stobart?
That the clown is a member of that cult.
I see. And what proofs do you have?
Proof? I arrived at my conclusion through logical deduction and...
Pseudo-intellectual people. Leave the investigation of crime to those who know best. The police.
No.
Oh, you're boring, George.
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is.
Yes, I do.
One moment, monsieur. It's Stobart, monsieur. He insists on talking to you again.
Thank you, Moo. What now, monsieur?
Oh, I can't talk to him about the Hasashin.
Does this matter?
You already asked me?
Okay, fine. I'll leave.
So long, Inspector.
Hello?
It's George. I'm not sure what I should...
Neither am I.
I don't know what to do. What I should do next. Me neither, George. Head to the museum before the thugs get there. You know, it's been a while since I hard saved the game. And we are roughly at an ad break, so you know what? Let's take that now. Be back in a few minutes, folks. All right, everybody, we are back. So I need to get the tripod next, according to the hints.
Access to the side and through the grimy glass, I could see several. What they were,
Attention!
Don't you think it's kind of
Better stop.
What's the problem?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a new burger bar opened up across the street. The Laughing Buffalo.
So what's the problem?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill. And the fat falls on the open flame. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled. And it stinks like a funeral pyre. That is why I keep the windows closed.
Huh.
The case contained. They were all above them.
I think this is another timed puzzle. Yep. Hey, Ravi, thanks for the well wishes, man.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien, see you tomorrow.
Good night, monsieur.
I think I saw this before. Where isn't there a guy that drops from the ceiling?
Nico, look at this.
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight. What the? Who's there?
Let's get out of here.
Wait, that's a woman.
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor Georges.
What a mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
You mean it was you who stole the tripod?
Oh, Nico, I
Oh,
love you.
Nico? I could have been shot.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. And how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod. Aren't you going to try putting the gem on the tripod?
I guess so. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
The gem fits perfectly, but what does that prove?
Maybe
Oh,
the tripod has to be in a certain location.
like
There's nothing on the manuscript to indicate where, though, is there?
the
Oh,
place
by
while the
way,
Templars were
I
hung.
had a visit from Andre Lobineau.
Oh, yeah. I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again. He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of the knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
I sure hope so.
Interesting. I'll have to go check that out.
Lobineau explained who the Hashashin were.
Yeah?
The cult of the assassins.
Oh, boy!
That's all you have to say? Oh boy.
What do you think the purpose of this tripod is?
On the manuscript, the gem is shown mounted on top of it.
So, we risked a criminal charge to steal a display stand?
Don't ask me. Maybe it's intended to hold the gem in a specific position.
Alright.
I have to go.
Already?
Time and time.
Okay.
Alright, another achievement.
Oh, hi.
Hello, my handsome friend.
What do you say about this
Do you know what
tripod?
this tripod was used for?
I couldn't imagine.
See you later.
That's right, monsieur. You will.
En passant. Oh no, it's another clown.
I once read it didn't obvious.
Juggler, tourists. Hmm.
A huge stained glass. I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout.
Four monuments.
It was a simple but elegant tripod made of metal.
Alright, so I guess it's now find where to take the tripod. Okay, so we are supposed to go to Montpasson.
Per disciplinum. A bit of a stained glass window. Wow! Hoping for a big insight. had been pretty The statue had... Well, I could have just taken... But I wanted to be sure what I'd be getting out of vandalizing other than deported. On the end of the statue, around the base...
So I need to know what's in there before the game will let me take it. Guess I need to talk to the tourists and probably go into the sewers.
The juggler was good. Why he couldn't put that kind of application into getting a real job, I had no idea. Maybe he just liked dressing up like a horse's ass. There was a small crowd of 5 sightseers. It's a weird thing, but you can take the most intelligent people in the world, put them in their vacation duds, and hey presto, they look like morons. Why is that?
George is wildly not self-aware.
There was a small... It's a weird... They look like... Hey, you with the balls.
Oui,
How did you learn to be a juggler?
juggler? What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No, I am a jongleur.
A jongler? What's that?
Mon Dieu. A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contragravitic aeroballetic mysteries. In centuries past, the courts of the crowned heads of Europe had the jongleurs, witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders, plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so.
You're being a jerk, George. Knock it off.
That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, it does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
I'll give it a try.
Be my guest.
I had no idea what I was doing. But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be? A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult. Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Not so easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Le Templier? Ah, the last Grand Master, Jacques Dumoulin, was burnt on an island in the Seine in 1314.
Wow. You're pretty well educated for a juggler.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Nice job, George.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I had no desire to... Hello again, officer.
Hello again, monsieur.
What do you think of the juggler?
Ah,
But he's blocking the third...
so? If he wants to block it?
You're a cop.
Ah,
So you're not going to do anything about this guy.
no.
He probably doesn't even have a license.
Ah, a license.
So what are you going to do?
The instant I return
Return to the station?
and spoil his concentration.
Right.
What do you think of this?
A black?
Don't you want to know why I'm carrying it?
No. That would... I might get a reputation for taking my...
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
I typically... Last time I visited... I decided I would...
Okay. You have the beaten path, you need fewer people in the plaza, obviously.
Hello again, officer.
Hello again, monsieur.
Does this red nose mean...
Ah,
Do I look...
no. No. If I'd known you were a and not
What do you mean?
whoever heard of it,
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red... But if I juggle bad...
you look like a...
It was a bright... Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
Look, a red nose.
Oh, you say, whoop-de-doo.
It was a bright... Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
Does this grease paint mean anything to you?
It looks like one of mine, or at least another jongleur.
Or a clown?
Mais naturellement, a clown.
Hardly a breakthrough. I had no desire. Hello
Hmm.
again, officer.
Hello again, monsieur.
What do you know about... Have a look at this...
A tripod.
You mean you...
No, monsieur.
Hmm.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
An architecture... In the middle of the square... I wondered if there might be...
So I need to get him out of here. That's the fountain. Weirdly, I feel like I'm missing an item.
It was a bright...
Hey, leave that.
Sorry, no...
Yes.
Hi again.
Oui?
I'd like to have...
You have got...
No.
Huh?
Allow me to demonstrate.
If you insist.
Okay, now. The juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury. Hey, you forgot one of your balls. Hey! But he didn't hear. Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change. I had no desire to talk to the crowd. There was a small crowd. It's put them. They look like.
Okay, the gendarme left. I would open the sewers. Oh, there's a straight up cannon in here. Oh no, is it a cannon or is it a boat? It's a boat with a cannon.
A weird little boat lay tied up. I guess they used it to get either that or the fat. There was a handle in the boat that fed out chain with a hook on the end. There were 3 arches. There were 3 There were 3. The wall had flaked, and anything once written. The inscription was hard to read, but I made out Templar and something about innocence. Close up, I could see a faded inscription. My medieval French isn't much, but the few words I understood seemed to say, "This is where the gallows used to stand." Maybe.
Ooh. So this is part of the exhibit, but not. Okay, what do I do with the chain?
The hook lay in a... The hook lay in...
So I can pick up the chain, but I can't do anything with it. So when I click on anywhere else, I put the chain down.
The inscription... The hook was held... The recent showers had made the levels rise a little, but at least the place didn't... What's a guy supposed to... Don't answer.
Well, that doesn't help me, game. I'm already down in the sewers.
Okay, it's long jump time.
Oh no,
Here
George.
goes. Do I look crazy or something? If I wanted to get deeper into these catacombs, if the near edge hadn't crumbled away, now I...
So I need something that can handle that? You're gonna walk over here and shrug, aren't you?
That is...
So I can't untie the boat.
A hook. The hook.
Like a ladder or something? Or a walkway I can borrow.
There was no need to take. It was the glass the gendarme.
I'm out here. No reason to go back to the hospital. I'm already at Montfaucon.
Pardon me. Oui, monsieur? Oh, it's you. You're not going to try to...
I hear you're
Nothing trouble. It is true. I always said that I...
What can you tell me about the...
Where exactly that little old lebe... There you need...
What is this ball?
Nothing.
Do you recognize...
It is vague.
I should think it is.
Very similar to the one...
That's what I...
But this is obvious.
Right. Do you want to borrow this tripod?
No, thank you.
Thanks.
Le Bagnon.
Hi, Andre. Hello, Georgie. What's with the long face?
Haven't you heard? The tripod was stolen.
No kidding.
I just don't get it. So many other treasures, and the thieves choose the tripod.
A modern-day alchemist, perhaps?
Who knows? There's no shortage of crazies in Paris. Hey, I visited Nico's apartment.
Yeah, she told me you came by.
Ooh, quite a fine Georgie boy. I didn't expect anything quite so sexy.
I hope you're referring to the manuscript.
Oui, of course.
What did you make of the manuscript?
It dates from the time of the Crusades.
We guessed that from the Templar seal.
It's a story and pictures like a modern-day comic book.
All right, explain more.
What story does the manuscript tell?
I don't know. It was probably produced for the tourist market.
Tourists?
Oh, oui, pilgrims in their thousands on their way to... The tourist trade is nothing new. Ever since Joshua made a packet selling souvenir bricks from the walls of Jericho.
Have you deciphered it?
There's a very... The slang of the bull could be a reference to Mithras.
Who's he?
A Persian god, almost as popular as Christ at one time. The only thing I can be sure of is the knight. He's Spanish.
How can you tell that?
The writing on the shield, the reference to Ave Maria. No self-respecting knight from Northern Europe would have borne a coat of arms like that.
Interesting.
Can you identify the knight's coat of arms?
I already did, Georgie. He's a member of the De Vasconcelos family from the Costa Calida.
Were they famous?
No, they're not mentioned after the 15th century.
Oh.
The spotlight of history moved on. They're probably long dead.
What else you got?
Do you think the manuscript could be the map to the Templar treasure?
Frankly, no. That's too far-fetched. The manuscript is interesting enough and a rare find, but that's all.
Wouldn't it be terrific if it was a map, though? The treasure of the Knights Templar.
A romantic notion, Georgie, but extremely improbable.
Oh, Andre?
Oui?
What would you say if I told you I knew who'd taken the tripod?
I'd call the police and have them arrested.
That's what I thought.
Who was it?
Oh, I don't know, really. It was just a hypothetical question.
That's too bad. If I could get my hands on the thief, I'd wring his neck.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Okay. So the museum's not done, but I've done a lot there. He's still gone. I need like a ladder or like a 2x4 or something.
Hello again.
Yes, Inspector?
What do you think of my ball?
I am a little...
Does this...
No, monsieur.
Does this medical...
Of course.
What does this...
Nothing?
Does this...
Ah.
A very large for...
No, monsieur.
Does the name...
No, monsieur.
Do you reckon...
I can't...
I think I've talked to him about everything
going.
else.
Good luck, Inspector.
Ah! Viva de Vasconcelos. I feel like that's a good spot to stop for next time. It's a little bit soon, but I don't think I'm going to get the whole section down there done in this amount of time. But I could check and see here if I have another hint recharged. Oh, a stone panel is different and I can force the issue. Alright, down we go then.
The inscription was undecipherable. I wondered... The inscription... I wondered... There were 3 arches, each with an inscription. The inscription was hard to read. The inscription was... Close up. My medieval friend... Maybe. Close up. My Maybe.
You can force the issue. Could I put plaster on here? No.
Hey! That's hollow!
I got it!
It's time for some brutal destruction. Close up, I could see the plaster was thinner where I'd broken through, and behind it were some cogs and a lever. Here goes. Hey, cool! Inside the hole, I could see... The inscription was... Nothing hollow there. That sounded pretty solid.
So maybe get the chain out and connect it to that. Yep. Okay, got it. Okay, in we go. Okay.
At the bottom of the steps, it seemed a good... There was a crack in the... Through it,
We are gonna hard save here.
In the beginning was the end. An end wrought by our enemies began our darkness.
Oh, there's that guy there.
In the end will be a beginning. An end to our enemies heralds our new day.
Report. The military establishments are in flux. The end of the Cold War has left them with no clear goal and as obvious targets for budgetary cuts. We have successfully promoted a sense of betrayal in the upper echelons. They feel that the politicians have cast them adrift. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Good. Mademoiselle?
Governments are giving the corporations more respect than their own citizens. A groundswell of dissatisfaction and dissidence is growing. The corporations are becoming too large and complex for their own executives to control them.
This is like
A
strangely
blindness of
accurate for
mass
today.
forces is accelerating this trend the world over. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
The global population's belief in those that govern it has never been lower. We have inculcated a sense of immediacy and action over forethought and planning in all the major governments. They are acting on hasty decisions that cannot be completed or revoked without appearing foolish. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
This is so accurate for today.
Excellent. The tired old governments are dying a slow death from their own incompetence and our machinations. The millennium is almost upon us, and everything is in place for the rise of our new order. Almost. Professor, where is the broken sword?
Ooh.
Ah,
Title drop.
as we discussed last time, with the loss of the manuscript, our search is as a corollary hindered.
And as discussed last time, you have been furnished with a dramatically increased budget. What have you been doing with our money, Professor?
We are working on the principle that the Templars, that is to say our predecessors,
Hold on. These are the Templars?
must have left a trail when they were hiding the clues to the sort of Baphomet's location. I have a small army of historians and archaeologists ferreting out that trail.
I trust these historians and archaeologists are more trustworthy than your friend Pegram.
Pegram was loyal. He tried to protect the Lochmarn gem when the Hashashin came near.
And failed. And don't call that Syrian maniac the Hashashin. He's an assassin. Plain and simple.
That's not what he believes. He actually thinks.
Silence! Do I have to remind you
that we have a sacred duty, a trust. When Philippe attempted to destroy the Order, we lost the sword and our power with it. Now we have the opportunity to reforge it. But time is short. We need results, not petty bickering, not excuses. Now, Professor, Baphomet.
Yes, of course, my apologies. We will find Baphomet and the sword, manuscript or no. We have already found another element actually within Paris.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, we're not exactly sure at present.
Ha!
But I have my best people working on it. You would do well not to criticize others, Eklund. At least I have not murdered one of our own.
Of course. That guy was the bogus doctor in the hospital.
Marquet was a liability. Eklund dealt with him on my orders.
I beg your pardon, Grandmaster. I did not mean to.
Have you any good news for us, Professor?
We already know 3 of the elements. We know that Klausner had obtained the lens before he vanished.
Where was he?
Syria. We know that he arrived, but after that, nothing.
The assassin.
I fear so. It's a shame. Klausner was a good operative.
Okay, that's a lot.
This will be our last meeting in... I hope that I don't need... Without it. With the sword reforged. The new millennium. The next time that we meet.
Okay, they left, so I'm not in any danger of running into them when I walk down that area. What's the circle say?
On the circle's circumference were the non omnis moriar and clarior a tenebris. I shall not die completely, the brighter from the darkness.
Uh-huh.
There was a large around the circle. In the middle of the circle was a shaft of daylight from the world above, lancing down to touch it.
The tripod.
I noticed 3 small The light, falling from above, struck the gem and scattered in 5 neat rays, and each ray picked out a letter. Starting from the seal, I could read M-A-R-I-B. Marib. Now all I had to do was figure out what the heck that meant.
Back in Nico's apartment.
Nico, I've seen them.
George with his just 1,000-yard stare.
I spied on their meeting in the catacombs.
And you saw the Knights Templar?
I saw a bunch of guys masquerading as Templars. They're after something called the Sword of Baphomet. The bogus doctor was there, the guy who killed Marquet. The manuscript is the key, just as we thought. It shows the way to the broken sword, whatever that is.
And how does the assassin fit into all this?
He's out to stop them. These Neo-Templars, they're men and women in influential positions. Don't you see? Plantar was one of them. The assassin killed him for the manuscript, to stop them finding the sword.
But now we have got the manuscript.
Yes.
So, how does he hope to find the sword?
I don't know. They said something about a lens and a guy called Klausner who's gone to Syria, but they didn't seem to realize the significance of the very site of their meeting. You see, after they'd gone, I discovered a stone pedestal and a carved inscription. I set up the gem on the tripod, directly below a beam of light. The gem split the beam and lit the letters M-A-R-I-B.
Marib is a village in Syria.
Then the Neo-Templars are ahead of us. Klausner beat me to it.
You're not thinking of going there yourself, are you?
Why not?
These guys are crazy and dangerous. That reminds me, you should leave the gem here.
Okay, what about the tripod?
I'll send it back to Andre, anonymously.
Okay, so leaving both of them. Alright, that is a much better place to end. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Do you think I should go to Marib?
Syria is a long way, Georges.
Templar shadows witness a gathering
Oh,
of
hi.
powerful conspirators.
Hello?
See you later.
That's right, mister.
Alright. Did good work. Now let's look for somebody to raid tonight. Who do I want to raid? Not even sure what vibe I want to jump into. You know what? It's Friday night. Let's relax a little bit. I'll see if I can raid this person. Yeah. Somebody doing a reading stream of Sense and Sensibility. Nice person, new person, y'all be nice. Y'all behave. But I will see you all tomorrow for Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes with Labras. So, thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is in your part of the world. Take care, and I will see you later.